Hi, this video will explain what happened to wMEMO on January 17th and go over the mechanism of how it happened. Let's get started. So for a bit of context, the Wonderland project has been in flux lately with a bunch of changes involving mainly moving from time to wMEMO. wMEMO is a token that captures the rebase rewards of the staked time token. There's also been news of various moves made by the DAO, like investing in BetSwap, a sports gambling platform, and approval of liquid staking development in the future. This is all good news, so what explains the price action of wMEMO today? The price dropped from $98,000 to just above $40,000 in a matter of less than 48 hours. From January 16th, the price moved down nearly 30% on increased volume before some people buying back in just before January 17th. The support here was around $71,000 to $72,000. It's not clear what caused the increased volatility and downward trend at this time. It could have been a small number of whales selling wMEMO in favor of other investments, or it could have been general bearish sentiment in the market. It's not clear. What comes after this is pretty clear though. January 17th starts with some sideways movement that turns downward at about 7 a.m. As soon as the price hits below $70,000, the floodgates open and the price of wMEMO nosedives. This is due to leveraged positions liquidating on Abracadabra, where people have leveraged up on their wMEMO. They are essentially borrowing MEM with their wMEMO, then using that MEM to buy more wMEMO, and looping that many times. If the price of wMEMO drops in the market for whatever reason, and that hits the liquidation price of some of these people's positions, they will get liquidated, meaning that the Abracadabra protocol will automatically sell their wMEMO to pay back the loan. If that was a bit confusing, just know that using wMEMO to borrow MEM can be very risky, because if the price of wMEMO drops too much, the borrower can lose all their wMEMO. I was on Abracadabra yesterday, which was January 16th, and noticed close to 0 MEM available for borrowing. Usually this number is 0 for the most part, meaning that there is no MEM left to borrow. $100 million worth of MEM is utilized and collateralized by wMEMO. That is until some trigger price caused maybe a large position to be liquidated, which set off a cascade of selling. How does this actually work? Let me show a diagram to explain. Let's say that the price of wMEMO is at $70,000 and I have a rather large position using my wMEMO as collateral to borrow MEM. I've also leveraged it a good amount such that my liquidation price is close to $70,000. The price hits $69,000. I get liquidated and Abracadabra sells all my wMEMO on the market to cover the loan. Since my position is rather large, this causes sell pressure on wMEMO and pushes the price down even more. As it drops, more people get liquidated since Abracadabra has to sell their wMEMO to pay their loans, and the cycle continues. It's basically a positive feedback loop. This morning, I saw that there were tens of thousands of MEM to be borrowed and thought that was interesting. That ballooned to over 50 million by the afternoon, so it's very clear that this was what happened. The protocol liquidated leveraged positions to cover loans, causing insane downward price action. This is the result of risky and highly leveraged positions. I think a good fix would be to limit the borrowing to 50% of the value of the collateral, or something like that. That way, positions can be lower risk, and that will mitigate things like this from happening. Now, as of 5 p.m., the amount of MEM available for borrowing on Abracadabra sits at about 45 million and has been relatively constant. The price of wMEMO has recovered somewhat. I would say that this was a good stress test of wMEMO. The highly leveraged positions got liquidated, so hopefully moving forward, people would be less risky with their positions so that something like this doesn't happen again. This was probably a good lesson for hodlers as well to experience some of the volatility in DeFi. I hope this video helped you understand a bit more on what happened. If it did, consider subscribing and giving this a video a like to help the channel out. What do you think about what happened? Are you bullish on wMEMO moving forward? Let me know in the comments below. As always, stay safe, stake safe, and thanks for watching.